All right, we're on the show floor of vmworld. Servicenow is one of the hottest things in the IT industry, and here we've got somebody from Servicenow. If you want to introduce yourself.
Michael Ritchie, pre-sales engineer in Charlotte.
Excellent. So Servicenow's got quite the buzz in the industry for several reasons. I want to see if you could walk us through that and tell us kind of what you guys are trying to showcase on the floor here at vmworld.
Sure. Servicenow is an IT service management solution in the cloud. We've got many customers that have migrated over from legacy tools for their IT service management needs. On top of that, we've taken automation capabilities on top of that, added it within our service catalog. We've had customers that have gone from a 3-week process to provision a virtual machine down to less than an hour, with most of that being taken up from the approval. So every user of Servicenow is going to have access to a self-service page such as this, and so they'll have access depending upon their role, their department, their location, on being able to order products and services.
Yeah. So if I get this straight, it's either an on-premise or off-premise type of solution.
Actually, software as a service.
Software as a service. Okay, that's good. And then this plugs into an ITIL-like framework for supporting hybrid IT environments.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
And as a platform, what's the end-to-end capabilities that this provides? I've heard, a help desk. I've heard runbook automation. I've heard about a bunch of things. What's the end-to-end platform?
Really, what you described there, your typical ITIL incident problem change, but we also have areas for asset management, software asset management, facilities, governance, risk, and compliance. And then we do have a platform as a service capability where users can create their own applications. We have customers that are doing claims processing within Servicenow as an example. So it is a platform-based license, so you have access to all of the applications here on the left-hand side.
All right.
With the exception of Runbook and Discovery, and those are licensed separately based on the number of servers for Discovery.
So this entire dashboard is really what you see in the entity of what Servicenow delivers as a platform?
Yes.
Okay, and as I understand it too, one of the key differentiators here is the CMDB, that you guys have really a common database for all the assets, and it's one of the really key appealing factors for Servicenow?
Correct. The CMDB is all part of that. So think about any project or release or incident or change. All of that links back to a CMDB, to a CI, and then you're able to get your end-to-end impact and urgency and understanding about what's going on that may be causing your problems or what you're going to affect by your change and so forth.
Yeah, and for those that may not know, a CMDB is a configuration management database, and it's the repository for all the different assets.
Yeah, so for example, I can take look at one of our business services, maybe bond trading here. So bond trading is an application that your end users would maybe utilize, or we capture some details about its approval group, support group, and then also what makes up that business service. We see here that it's provides services to EFX server and connects to Windows servers, all of its various relationship types. And then we can even map that out into a business service map diagram.
Wow.
And from here you can see that certain things are showing up in red and yellow. That's because they're being impacted by another change or incident or problem, or maybe even an outage. And this icon here, I can click in on it and actually get all of the current open incidents or tasks that are currently affecting that specific CI.
Okay.
So it's a great kind of single pane of glass for your IT analysts that are on the phone all day trying to struggle with keeping up with what's going on. They can come to a view such as this and see what that what may be impacting that service that someone's calling it an issue.
Very nice.
And then also think about it from a change perspective. Maybe I need to take down this web server. I can right-click on here, focus and redraw on it. And we can see the various business services that are depending upon it. And then thus I can understand what I'm going to impact as a result to my change.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. Walk me through some of the runbook automation stuff. What do you guys use that for, and what's the value?
We use that from a self-service perspective. So I'm going to go to my self-service dashboard here. So we can leverage it from a self-service perspective, ordering items, and then automating the provisioning of those. Or think about it from a change perspective. Maybe as a result to getting to the implementation phase of a change, we can automatically deploy that code or deploy a virtual machine or what have you. So I'll go ahead and start from a self-service side. Maybe I want to automatically deploy a virtual server. So by clicking on this, we're going to provide some details about this offering here. We've got some availability, some support coverage. One of the first required questions is what template do you want to require. So I can either type it in or select the magnifying glass. So maybe in this case I need a Windows 7 environment. So I can click this. We need a unique name for the virtual machine, so we have something filling in that automatically. We even have an expiration date within here. So say, for example, I only need it for a week. I can define what my expiration is in here, and then we can automatically decommission that device after that period of time.
Nice.
We can even associate a cost to those devices. So in this case, it's $150 to deploy a virtual machine. And then I can either add it to my cart and order other products and services, or I can just click on Order Now. What this is going to do is it's going to generate a request for me. And from an end user perspective, they see a 4-step provisioning process, kind of a FedEx-like status, high-level status of the process there.
So this dollar amount over here is a chargeback dollar amount?
Yes. So we can tie that back to the cost center that I'm a member of and roll it up to whatever department, budget, what have you, and be able to get an understanding, a showback model of all the impact to my budgets. So
if I don't have chargeback, I could just use it as a showback.
Yes, exactly. Now, if I drill down in on this requested item here,
yes,
we're going to get some details about that request. Wow. But notice I've got a show workflow. So back on that other screen, the end user saw that 4-level status of it, but behind the scenes is this ginormous workflow that's actually provisioning on this.
So it's got begin.
So we're actually going out to vCenter, cloning that virtual machine, updating its CPU based upon our standards, and then checking if it's network, adding any disks. I mean, whatever your process is, you can build that into our workflow.
Wow. Okay.
And now behind the scenes at vCenter, we can see here's that Windows 7 template that we're cloning.
Yep.
We're now configuring it, and then now we're powering on that SC4889 virtual machine that I had just ordered. So now at this point, I can deploy any operating system and so forth, configure it, install any software alongside through that runbook automation as well.
Very nice.
And now you'll notice here that I've got one CPU and 512 megabytes of RAM. Say, for example, maybe that's a little light for my needs. Back on the service catalog, we've even got an option to manage my virtual machines as well. So maybe I want to add some additional CPU or memory to that device. So if I click into here, it's going to ask me my virtual machine name. So we can do various lookups or what have you from here with the magnifying glass. We can search by OS, assign to. Or
could you give it a custom name right now?
Well, we'd have to.
You have to make that a standard.
Well, at the very beginning, I could have plugged in a certain custom name if I wanted to.
Okay, yeah. No problem.
So I'm going to go ahead and search for instances that are assigned to me. So I'll just pick on this 4889 that I had just created. So from here, I can choose an additional CPU that I want to add. Notice that there are additional costs associated with that.
Nice.
So if for example, I want to add 4, it's going to cost me an additional $500. And also the subtotal over on the right-hand side starts increasing as a result of that.
Yep, a little shopping cart.
Exactly. Maybe I want to add, maybe 2 gigs of RAM, then the price goes up $780. Now on top of this, if the price were greater than $1,000 out of the box within our workflow here, we're going to route that over for financial approval. So again, whatever your business rules are, we can add that within.
In some ways, this feels like Amazon.com for IT.
Exactly. And I mean, we're wanting to make it very easy to use, so you don't have to have a whole lot of training to come out here and do this.
Awesome.
So once I order this, we're going to then launch a workflow similar to what we had done before.
Okay.
So if I can drill down in it and show that as well. So here, we're going to power off the virtual machine, we're going to add the additional CPU from a reconfiguration perspective, and then we're going to send a notification off that end user letting them know that it's been successful. Now if I switch back over to vCenter, we're going to see the fact that it's being powered off at this point. And then from there, we're going to reconfigure it. And then here in a moment, the CPU and memory will automatically be updated to what I had chosen from that screen.
Okay.
So now we see I'm looking at the right one. We now have 4 CPUs and 2 gigs of memory.
Just like that? Yep. Awesome. All right, so from a runbook perspective, you've shown kind of one little aspect of it. What are some other aspects that you see? Is it like for site failover, DR, that kind of stuff? I mean, what do you see the use cases?
Use cases, I can actually pull up the workflow to show you what we actually do. But essentially through runbook automation, I'll just pick any one of these workflows.
That's proprietary information that you can't take from others.
So if if I check it out, I can actually edit this workflow. So over on the right-hand side, you can see these various activities that we have. So we can launch in, and we can actually provision Active Directory ID. So think about from an onboarding perspective. Maybe as I'm onboarding an associate, I can actually automatically create that user ID so that someone within the Active Directory department does not have to do that. Once it's approved by my manager, go ahead and provision that ID. Maybe add them to groups or what have you. We can also create instances out in the Amazon EC2 cloud. We can run PowerShell scripting and shell scripting, so deploy software. We even had a customer that actually performed their Windows 7 rollout leveraging runbook automation. It saved them well over 20,000 man hours.
Wow.
Obviously, it's a very big cost saving there. And then from here, you also see our activities for runbook, where we can clone, destroy, reconfigure, take snapshots of virtual machines as well.
Wow, so lots of power. Anything else you would add as a platform that you'd want to articulate for what Servicenow does, or on what you guys are trying to articulate at the show here at VMworld?
Really, we're taking what people have done from their IT service management and trying to make it very easy and much more easier for those individuals. We can take an alarm, for example, from vCenter, and then if, based off that incident, we can automatically maybe add it to the CPU and so forth. So again, taking a lot of those manual steps and then automatically provisioning those items.
Cool. Well, again, you guys are classifying enterprise IT service automation, and you definitely have shown a lot. That's it for Servicenow. Thanks.